I'm Nicolas Girard. I'm one of the founder of Attila Technologies, a company that was founded as a spin-off of Stevens a few years back after a couple of years of research funded by National Science Foundation. So I want to talk a little bit about what we do. Attila has created, developed, and patented a technology that basically creates the perfect data connection for wireless devices. That's a pretty bold statement, and the way we're doing it is truly disruptive. As we're standing here, basically, we're in the access field of a number of wireless technologies. We have Wi-Fi, we have 2G, 3G, 4G cellular, satellite communication, femtocells, picocells. Attila's invention is about leveraging all those connections simultaneously, not one at a time, all at the same time. And we're just not doing it randomly. The way we're doing it is by introducing a piece of software on the mobile device directly that senses the application and their needs. So their needs could be throughput, latency, coverage, price, anything you want. Could be mission critical application and performance. And we're constantly sensing those application needs, and we're basically building an always-on data connection that matches needs. So whether you're doing a download or streaming video or doing audio, all those things for that matter at the same time, the connection will be different. The characteristics of that connection, but we always promise that it will be the best connection to maximize the performance of applications. So it's really about leveraging, sensing and adapting, and aggregating all those networks to build this always-on connection. The software is small enough that it works on a mobile phone, runs on an iPhone just fine. We're not disrupting the network, we're not changing the carrier's background infrastructure, and we're not asking the user to configure anything, and we're compatible with existing applications. So our customers are really belonging in three groups. Obviously the general telecom industry, the government, DHS, first responders, emergency personnel, and finally the transportation. I'm going to go quickly over the problem that we're solving with those customers. As an end user, we've been promised a holistic mobile experience. That's falling short. People are frustrated by performance, drop calls, why do I have 5 bars in Hoboken but I can't connect to the website, so on and so forth, as well as the complexity, understanding what network does what, switching from one to another, configuring the parameters. The telecom industry itself is in a transition phase at the moment, not just because they're transitioning between 3G and 4G, which is not just a technology transfer, but it's moving to an all IP network. And the consequences for this industry is that it's basically lowering the barriers to entry. And so you have a lot more competitive field now, and they're also losing a lot of their traditional routing streams, for instance, voice or SMS. So the idea for the telecom industry is to do more with less, and they need to respond to that surging capacity. Government, DHS, it's actually one of the easiest market. They have an identified technology gap. One of the keynote speakers was talking about earlier. They are looking worldwide at basically bringing internet to the field so they can perform the task better and especially rely on video. So they really need an always-on, high throughput connection that is secure and stays on all the time. All the time means 100%, not just 99% of the time. And finally, the transportation industry, there's two sides to it. The professional industry, which has been mostly relying on satellite, and it's costly, and they're looking at reducing their cost structure there. On the consumer side, the car makers are bringing internet into vehicles this year. And their problem is all about being global companies and selling in global markets, and they really need technology independence, not targeting specific technology per location. So benefits, I'll go through that really. So it's all about revolutionizing the mobile experience and at the same time optimizing mobile core networks. And that's important because if you're only pulling the blanket in one direction, you don't have a viable solution. We're solving the capacity and quality of service issue by being spatially more efficient. We're also more granular in the way we're offloading and bypassing the carrier's network, allowing them tremendous cost saving. And obviously, as we're providing that one data connection that stays on all the time, turbocharged, there's a slew of new applications that we enable. Video in the field, emergency response system, mobile application for commercial troops, situational awareness for public safety. But last but not least, and that's actually pretty significant, the technology itself allows and unlocks new monetization and new business models. There is, for instance, the super MVNO, by which you would acquire bandwidth
wholesale capacity on multiple networks and basically use the technology to stitch it together, provide nationwide coverage by lowering your cost structure. There's an opportunity to bring and to become the gatekeeper and basically regulate the content delivery to cars, where we control the gates, control the delivery, and obviously cut the revenues. And finally, as the cable and satellite companies are entering the market, the wireless space, they realize they operate Wi-Fi network. They already operate the Wi-Fi network. They just signed a sharing agreement last week. They are competing head-to-head with the incumbent in that market. They have a number of assets. They have their own assets. They are writing other people's network, and they're also acquiring spectrum. What they need is technology that merge and knit that together. A value proposition, obviously, is different by market. I'm going to skip that one. I'll be happy to talk about it as I'm running out of time. So how do we make money with Attila? Well, Attila is fundamentally a software company, so we're making money by selling software. However, as we are an enabling infrastructure company, we're not the final application. So most of our sales are going through channels and with only the mobile devices that we're targeting directly by leveraging the application stores, which means we don't need to work with the handset makers or the OEMs to actually deliver our software to customers. The channel partners are all the horizontal players in the telecom industry. We're working with a number of system integrators as well for the government market, working directly with the car maker for the transportation industry, and obviously the cable guys and the carriers. Not going to go through the whole addressable market for Attila, but the numbers speak for themselves. They are staggering. 1.2 billion phones sold every year, a good chunk of that being smartphones. You may have heard about the data usage ramping up. Cisco has predicted it's going to increase by 1,000 times over the next 5 years. And really a truly staggering number. 1/3 of global internet traffic today is coming from smartphones. The next generation of web user will discover the internet through their phone, not the desktops. So that's really why, and highlight the importance of the technology that we've developed. In terms of number, I'm going to go through it quickly. We are solving burning problems in multiple billion-dollar markets. The window is right now. Obviously, as a software company, we have high gross margin, and we've put pretty high barrier to entry. We have our first patent, which is really an omnibus patent granted last year, and we have filed 8 other patents. In terms of number, we're very conservative, mostly because the sales cycles in all those markets are fairly long, but we're looking at about $40 million of revenues with 35% of operating margins by 2013. So concluding, Attila has raised the first round of financing last year. We also signed a revenue sharing agreement with InterDigital, which is a worldwide leader in developing and licensing wireless technology. Pretty much every single of your phone right now runs technology that's been developed by InterDigital. Attila is in the process of finishing the deployment at 2 customer sites, one for a DoD application, one for a command and control system. The government market was our first market as we're in bootstrap mode, and we're just attacking the telecom market. We brought together an OEM, a carrier, and an infrastructure provider, all the top tier 1 US companies, and we're putting our technology on the consumer device that will be released later this year. And in order to fund our growth and expand our commercialization effort, we're looking at raising our next round of $3 to $5 million in the next 3 or 4 months. Thank you.